For cheap and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, check out EasyMut.com and use code SPORTS for 5% off your entire order. Oh, what's up YouTube? It's Duke back here from SportsGamers.com. Today's Madden 21 tip, I'm going to break down a very dominant defense that you can use to lock up both the run and the pass. This is great coverage, but it also gets good pressure and stops the run at the same time. It's very easy to set up. Earlier in the week, I broke down a super fast blitz setup from the nickel 2-4-5 double A-gap formation, and today I'm going to be breaking down my complementary coverage slash block shed slash run defense setup from the same play that, again, is also a very easy setup. And this is actually the way I've been liking to play coverage a lot lately. It's some new adjustments that not too many people are using, but I definitely find them very effective. I think it could be changing the meta a little bit defensively. So, again, the 2-4-5 double A-gap formation nickel, it's solid against the run and the pass. So it's a balanced formation. You can find a lot of playbooks. In this example, I'm actually in the Giants defensive playbook. And when you're running this, you definitely do want to have your best and fastest pass rushers at the defensive end positions. If you don't like 92, if we go ahead and take a look at the depth chart, he's not that great. He doesn't have that great of speed. He's just nothing, nothing to write home about. As you guys can see here, he's 79 speed. I mean, nothing that great. But if you look at our backup options, really, other than O'Daniel, we don't have anyone, or Gay, we don't really have anyone that's even fast. So we may as well just stick with him. But I will say, if you do have better options, always make sure those are your two good or best edge rushers. The other thing you want to do for your subs when running this formation is you want to put safeties in at linebacker, unless your linebackers are just amazing. I always prefer safeties here, because that's going to give you better speed, better coverage ability, and we're going to be using one of them anyway, so in my mind, it may as well be a fast player to use. So the play is mid-blitz. Like I told you guys, the blitz setup I already showed you is from mid-blitz too, but this is not actually going to be a blitz. We'll get pressure, but it's going to be from our D-line, which is why you want to have a good D-line in the game. Another important thing to note is that if you guys not see the blitz setup I already broke down, you definitely want to check that out. I just posted it a few days ago, so don't miss out on that. I can pin it in the comments for you guys to take a look. It's definitely worth watching. Now, before we get into the setup here, I do want to remind you guys, if you're enjoying my content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also turn your notifications on. That way you won't miss out when our videos go live. And we do tip and gameplays pretty much every day of the week. And also smash that like button. If you really rock with me, that does help out a lot. One final reminder, guys, if you're looking to get better at Madden 21, whether it be on offense or defense, you need to check out SportsGamers.com. We have the best Madden 21 tips and ebooks. We have offensive and defensive schemes available for purchase, and we also have the Madden Vault subscription, which is only $12.99 a month, and it gives you 4 to 6 tip updates every single week. That's going to keep you up to date on all the latest and greatest trends in the game. It's going to keep you ahead of the meta, give you a leg up on the competition, guys. A lot of you guys out there, I'm sure, are subscribed to people, they're paying $5, $10 a month, and you're getting like emotes and just a few tips here and there that aren't really that good. Guys, this is a much better value for your buck. You're going to get a lot more than any of that other stuff. The quality is night and day. This is like going to a steak. Like, my tips are like going to a steakhouse. That other stuff is like eating at Applebee's. So, make sure you use your resources wisely if you want to improve at the game. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the tip here. We're going to be setting this up very easily. We are going to take advantage of the fact that in the blitz, we are going to make them block the running back. So once you use the blitz setup I already broke down earlier this week, they're going to be forced to block the running back if they want to have a chance of slowing down this pressure. So once we see they do that, this is where we bring in the coverage game. And what I like to do is I like to press coverage, which is coverage audible, and then down on the left analog stick to press coverage. And coverage audible is either triangle on PlayStation or Y on Xbox. Then you see, guys, the safety that's in man coverage on the running back. We want to put him on an inside third. The reason for this is we want him over the middle, the field, and we want to take away any of those coverage beaters that they're going to try to hit us with, like deep posts or the S posts or any of that. Now, be aware. I'm about to show you guys a different way to shade coverage that to me is very, very effective. And what I like to do is I like to shade when I have the safety over the top. This is key. You have to have the safety over the top to do this. You want to shade underneath. Now, if you shade underneath with no safety over the top, you're risking getting cooked. Like absolutely cooked. Now, you have a few different ways you can set this up past that. What I like to do is if I want to just use one safety deep, I like to user him so I can kind of free roam. Like if I see someone, running a streak off the snap and get open, I can guard him. If I see a deep post coming down the middle of the field, I can guard that. If I don't see anything going deep, I can come up over the shallow or the intermediate area. So that's one way I can do it. I'm going to show you another example of another way you can do it in a second here. But if I'm going to control that deep safety, I'm going to go ahead and put both these linebackers that are blitzing on curl flats. Now be aware, you can change your zone drops for the curl flats if you're going to do this. I would probably change them to 20 or 25 so they get deeper and defend like crossers and, deeper corner routes. So then the sidelines aren't really much of a threat. All right, so here we'll take an example here. The running back's staying in, and we're going to see what we're going to have to guard with our user. Again, we're going to user the deep safety with the two purples. As you guys can see here, I'm just guarding the middle of the field. Really nothing is getting open, and they end up getting sacked and, a couple step drop. So you take a look at the replay again, you will notice that the purple zones, they do a really nice job of taking away that sideline. Now, I don't have my zone drops on here so you guys can see they don't go too deep. And my responsibility, like I said, is if there's no one, that's a deep threat, I can cover the intermediate area there, which is what I was doing on the post. And, I was able to take that away. As you guys can see here, there really is nothing, open for the quarterback, as really, if you guys can zoom in here, I'm just taking away all their reads, and they don't really have anything, okay? There's nothing too open, and, they're forced to eat the sack. Now, the other way you guys can do this is you can actually use two deep safeties, which I'll show you in a second. But like I said, if you're going to use the purple zones, I definitely would recommend putting your curl flat, zone drop, and the coaching adjustments either on 20 or 25. Now, the nice thing about shading underneath that's kind of underrated is a lot of people, know that you're probably going to shade over the top, and they know that they're not going to get pressed. And when they're not going to get pressed, that allows them to just throw like a lot of quick routes over the middle that you normally wouldn't. For example, dig routes, slant routes, just all sorts of just basic routes like that. Like if they know that they're not getting pressed, like here, I'm just going to shade over the top. If you're not getting pressed, you can just throw slants and, ins and digs pretty much, at will, as you guys can see here. It doesn't take much. Now, it's not that much separation, but it's just easily there. Now, granted, if you do press them, sometimes they still do get open, but at least you have a little bit more of a chance, at least to get a win off the release with your defensive back and not allow that to get open. So, again, we're going to show the difference here. We're going to go ahead and press, but we're going to, instead of shading over the top, we're going to shade underneath. And underneath shading is down on the right analog stick. Then we're going to go ahead and put these two guys in the curl flats. We're going to put this guy in the inside third, but we're still going to user him. Now, if we don't want to user him, we could user a purple. It's just a little bit more dangerous because now if someone gets beat over the top on the streak, you're not really there to cover up. But here, if we want to user a purple, we definitely can. To take that route away over the middle, and again, there's nothing much open. Now, the other way you guys could do this, if you want to not use your safety, is you could actually keep both safeties deep. Now, if you do this with shading underneath, you would want to put both of your safeties in a deep half. A deep half is up on the left analog stick. And you guys can see I put both safeties in a deep half, and if you're going to do this, you're going to want to man the tight end up with the safety in the box. It's really, it's really a linebacker, but we put a safety here that we're not using, okay? Very important. Now, if you're going to do this, this is going to make it more of a coverage that now you're going to have to guard anything that comes open, whether it's a out route, whether it's a corner route, whatever. You're going to have to be basically making all the plays yourself because now, yes, you have the safeties deep on both sides of the field, but you don't have any help underneath with curl flats on the sidelines, so you're not taking the sidelines away, and you're basically going to be responsible for everything, the sidelines and the middle of the field, so keep that in mind. But, it is a lot harder to get a lot of these routes open when you're actually pressing and shading underneath. I mean, again, you still can, but you definitely still can, don't get me wrong. But when you never are getting pressed, it's just the timing is just way easier. Here you guys can see again, you know what I mean. If you see a route coming open and you know that you don't have shading, you don't have any purple zones or nothing, and you're just basically relying on your user, it's gonna be on you to make that play. Like, it's definitely gonna be on you. You're gonna have to make that play yourself, and that's just it is what it is. If you're comfortable doing that, then that's fine. But just know that that is always gonna be your responsibility to take that away, whether it's you defending an out route, a corner route, a crossing route, an in route, a slant route. If you're going to play this type of coverage, you're always going to have to be comfortable taking advantage of those reads and taking them away. Again, you guys can see here, I see that out route is breaking open. So that makes me, that tells me I need to click on and get underneath that myself and get that user pick. Because if I don't do that, all I can really rely on myself here. And if I don't take that away, that's definitely going to be a completion, but I'm able to take that away and get the pick. So that puts a lot more stress on your user underneath, but it does allow you to have the coverage taken away over the top to make sure you don't give up any bombs. But I will say my favorite way to run this is to press coverage, shade underneath, purple both of these guys, and then just user this safety deep myself. This gives me much more flexibility. Now, if I see someone getting open over the top, I can guard him. But if I don't, then I can just sit over the middle of the field myself. I don't really have to worry about the sidelines too much because I do have the two purples. And there are a lot of routes this year that get open over the middle. This route right here on this play to 10, that is a great example of one. This is a route right here that is one of my favorite routes because it breaks several times in the route to the point where, even if you have those man abilities, one step ahead or whatever, this is actually a route that cooks that. So if you see a route like this on the play, you're going to have to, get underneath that yourself so that they can't throw that, and therefore that's going to give yourself a little bit more chance to get the pressure in. Now, remember, guys, this is a defense that you can stop the run with, so you don't really have to worry too much about the run. It stops the pass. It gets good pressure, and like I said, now you have a coverage defense to mix in with the blitz, giving the offense the same look pre-snap. They don't have any tell to know, are they blitzing, are they not? You can even bring your user up into the gap as if you were blitzing, like mugging the gap of the O-line to even confuse them more when you're playing coverage if you want.